Like Abdi, Danny Boy here, and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2. Now, as you've seen in the title, today is going to be a different one. Normally, we would wait till the 10th episode to do a drive-by, but we are going to do a drive-by at episode 179. Because in episode 180, what I'm going to do is literally delete every single passenger train from the map, and then we are going to throw on all new trains. We've still got a lot of old trains kicking about. But first of all, we're going to run on three of the intercities. We're going to do this one that goes from Glasgow to London via Liverpool. We're going to do the one that goes from Aberdeen to London. And we're going to do the one that goes from London out to Milford Haven. Because these have been built for a long time, but we've added a lot more trains since then, and I think the routes might be slightly more interesting to watch. So, we will push play. We will set the date speed for ×2. Excellent. And then we will jump on the train. So, it's loading up. There was 153 people waiting. There we go. Look at this lady doing the awkward side weird step there. The men seem to be walking fine. Some of the women seem to be walking slightly stranger. So we got 171 of 182, which is pretty decent. We did add the Virgin train to this as well in the last episode. That actually just left just before I started recording. It would have been nice to jump on board, but it was already sort of on its way before I hit the record button. So, off we go to Carlisle. Now, there's a lot more trains now venture into Carlisle station, which is nice. There we go. There's a Morgan's down there. Seems to be, there's another Morgan's over there and a Wiener's. Sweet. Here's another train rolling in. That's the one that goes from Glasgow down to Cardiff. The intercity train. It looks pretty cool. Almost with its correct consist. I think it's supposed to have 5 standard passenger cars. It's going to have to wait for our train to sort of move. I can see the shadow of a plane above. Not sure where it is. Is there somewhere? Right, yeah, the airport is just over there. Well, it's the other side of the city. But we shall continue on. I'm not sure what kind of speeds we're probably. I think 95 is the top speed for the Class 47. I don't think at any point we will reach that. But there should, as I say, be a lot more traffic. Now, I've kind of neglected freight up here at Scotland, so there ain't going to be much freight kicking around this area. There are a few mail trains. Unfortunately, what I found with this map is that even though it's a huge map, a megalomaniac size map, it's quite small for the amount of cities and stuff that you need to put on. But in the next series, which is an ambitious series that I've got planned, and that will all change. Right, well, see this wall at the side here, this unsmoothed catastrophe above that lake. See how it's like flickering, the textures. I hate that. Hate it. So, I do have the new LG C10 OLED, which I'm currently playing on just now. But it only does 4K at 30 frames per second because I don't have the HDMI 2.1, which you get with the new 30 series graphics cards and AMD. I can't remember what they're on. 7000 series. But yeah, once I'm still waiting. The new rig that I'm building is pretty much done. I just need the CPU and the GPU. Now, I've been hunting severely online trying to get one. The easiest thing I can see so far is to buy one from America and have it shipped over. that is the easiest conclusion I have found so far, because obviously, like when you go on, I use PC Part Picker for a lot of things. I used it to get the best deals for most of the parts in this new PC build, and all the websites there, Curry's, Box, CCL, Overclockers, have a thing, they notify me when the part comes in stock. So I've had that a couple of times now, but every time I've went on, I have failed to secure the, well, I was going for the Strix 3080, the Asus Strix 3080, and the Ryzen 5900X. There are 5950s still in stock, but they are super expensive, and for what we are doing, it doesn't really merit the extra, what is it, like 200, 300 quid. A 5900X would be fine. In fact, probably something like a 5800X would be fine, maybe not the 5600. But yeah, they go quickly. So I get the email, I jump straight on the laptop, type in my login details for the shop, the online shop, get myself in the queue, and then the you were unsuccessful to secure your CPU or GPU at this time. Thank you. That was a waste of like an hour. So I've been unsuccessful, and that's the only two parts I need, and it's super frustrating not being able to get them. But obviously, once we get the new 3080 and the new rig set up, I will be able to play this in 4K. I'll be able to, well, I can render videos at 4K at the moment. The 1080 does 4K just fine. Regardless of what anyone says, I've tested it. It will put out 4K. It won't obviously have the RTX features, which I don't think Transport Fever 2 has. RTX or DLSS options in it. Maybe it does. Maybe I wouldn't say so. I think it would be there, but it would be in the settings menu. It would be checked as like unavailable once it figures out what your graphics card actually is. Is this the Virgin train? No, it's a Great Western that is heading somewhere. So yeah, so we are kind of stuck. Now, I did play one of these episodes recently, just after getting the TV at 4K. Obviously, with standard HDMI, you won't get the full 60 frames. It only gives you 30, which is not really ideal for Transport Fever. You want as much frames as you can get, especially because the game suffers dramatically with the amount of things that it has to, the amount of memory and CPU that it uses. It's not really a graphics card intensive game, it's a CPU intensive game, so you need all the frames you can sort of get, and sort of capping it at 30 frames is sort of bad for a game like this. Now, I did record a episode of Mars Horizon at 4K. I rendered it at 4K. In a game like Mars Horizon, where there are not many moving images, the only moving images I can think of for Mars Horizon are the rocket launches, some things to do when putting satellites in orbit, etc., and when the planets rotate on sort of main screen. That train, that intercity train on the left, is very, very dirty. There's a Concorde though. So yeah, I managed to having 30 frames in a game like that is not catastrophic. In fact, there's only been one or two times that I've noticed when recording it at 4K what it's had like a screen flicker, but or it's like stuttered or something. But apart from that, it's just fine. Now that video will be coming up soon. I've recorded it in 4K and rendered it in 4K, uploaded it to YouTube with the 4K settings enabled, and that's gonna be a sort of test. Now, obviously, when the new rig comes, the plan was to have the new rig for playing games, and then the old rig for rendering. So I could sort of do rendering in the background and record stuff, because I want to do a lot more stuff, which would be cool. And But what I've come to realise is, when I record say something like a standard episode of Transport Fever, one that lasts, say, 50 minutes or so. Now I can render that in 1080p on the old rig. If it's recorded in 1080p, render settings set for 1080p, optimized for YouTube, etc. That will record like a 50-minute video in like 40 minutes. So the rendering time is actually shorter than the time it took me to record it. Previously, when I had the old parts of the rig installed, I had an old i5, I think it was like a 5500K or something, and that would take like an hour and like 40 or an hour and 50 minutes to render a 50-minute video, no matter what it was, at 1080p. But with the 4K settings, the 39 odd minute episode of Mars Horizon I recorded took 2 hours to render it at 4K. I then used Handbrake to compress it because it was a super large file, like ridiculous. I think it was something like 40 gigabytes or something ridiculous. So after handbraking that, now I handbrake every video, I compress every video before putting it onto YouTube. One, you do lose a slight bit of quality when doing video compression. I think I use Handbrake. I'm not sure if there are better video compression tools out there that give you less diminishing results, but even after handbraking, it still looks pretty much almost the same. Like, the difference for me is negligible. I can do the rendered, I could play the rendered version and then the handbrake version and then look at it, have them open side by side and not see that much of a difference. Now also that makes YouTube upload times slightly quicker, because you've got your upload time, you've got your standard definition processing time, your high definition processing time for 1080p. When I uploaded the 4K video, it was standard definition, high definition, and then it did a 4K definition. So that took, like, even though you can move on to something else, right, we're getting a lot of lag there. Okay, the lag has been fixed. Yeah, even though once it moves into processing, it's no longer your task to deal with. It moves from your computer to the YouTube side, and you can close the upload window and then go and do something else. I tend to just play games with nothing open, render games with nothing open, handbrake them with nothing open, and upload them with nothing else open. With the two computers, I could have one computer rendering and then handbraking, but while still playing games on the other one because it's free to do whatever it wishes. Oh, there's some ballast over track I've just noticed there, but it's not too bad. But yeah, so that was sort of the plan, but obviously when realising that the 4K video took almost 2 hours, or actually more, not almost, it was more, it was 2 hours and 10 minutes to render a 39-minute video at 4K using the i7 7700K, which runs super hot as well when rendering because it's doing a lot of work. So I was then at a sort of impasse. I was like, well, if I want the future videos on here to be 4K, 2K, then I'd probably have to render the videos using the new rig. And then there's maybe some older or some other series that might come up. I would imagine all titles from this day forward or from now on would generally support 4K. There maybe isn't. There's maybe still one still on the go that 1080p is like the max settings you could probably get. Something like Cyberpunk 2077. I've watched a lot of videos. I've been trying not to watch gameplay videos of Cyberpunk because I would really like to play it when the new rig comes out. Now, it's not really a game I would maybe put on here, It's an RPG. It's a role-playing game. The only really role-playing game I actually played was Red Dead Redemption 2, because I thought it would be cool to play through that. And it kind of was. It didn't get a lot of views. It's not like city building or building your own transport network. It's not really a sort of tycoon game or city builder game, so it didn't do that well on the channel. It got like a few likes. I mean, people, and every now and then in YouTube analytics, Red Dead Redemption video pops up that's got a bit more views, but I wouldn't add something like Cyberpunk 2077 to the channel. Probably not again. But I would like to play it on my own, and I would like to play it in the new rig with DLSS on, RTX, 4K. Now, I have been watching the videos, the reviews about it. I've seen all the horror videos. Some of the bugs are pretty bad. And then I saw a video yesterday. I can't remember who it was. I think it was like Level Cap or Linus Tech Tips or Gamers Nexus or something. It was like, yeah, the CD Projekt Red devs had apologised to old school console players. Old school now being the PS4, the old Xbox. That, yeah, the game wasn't very well optimised for that generation of hardware. In fact, I think it was pretty bad of CD Projekt Red to even sort of port it for those consoles, because they knew this is gonna suck. This is gonna look really bad. But then just used it as a money grab and scream like, "Hey, your PS4, we'll run this just fine. It won't look as pretty as in the new generations of consoles or some of the high-end gaming PCs out there, but it will still run." And then some of the footage you see from like those old consoles is like, wow, what? So I think that was pretty bad. I know a lot of people can't get a hold of a new console. I've been trying to get a PS5 for ages. I've actually given up till next year. So I think I'm going to wait till things calm down. And I was going to do that with the CPU and GPU that I needed again. But I want to get that built before the end of the year. That task is now looking seemingly impossible. It looks like most of the stock for 3080s and 5900Xs came in like a few days ago, and I don't think retailers are going to get any more stock in until next year, so I'm going to have to bite the bullet on that. But I wanted to do like a nice channel revamp, like upload the videos in 4K. But hey ho, I would like to play Cyberpunk. I'd like to play it on my own, or something to do. I do play other games. Someone did ask me if I was going to put City Skylines up on the channel. Now, I used to play City Skylines a lot. And there's been like a lot of new packs and DLCs. But for me, I kind of got burned out in it. There was a lot of mods and stuff. I really did enjoy City Skylines. It was a great game. Even the new stuff that comes out looks pretty cool. But yeah, there's only so much packs and stuff you can add to a game before people are like, right, but it's still, even though there's new stuff, it's still the same game. And with modding enabled, I think it gets harder for game developers to make new stuff, because some modder has already went in and been like, oh look, here's some green energy industries, and they pop them into the game and they come out with the green industries pack. So especially in Transport Fever, I don't know, like Train Fever had DLC, I remember it. Transport Fever 1 had no DLC, but there was no point, because everything that they could have brought out, regions of trains from other countries, yada yada yada, was already made by modders. I mean, there's a lot more variety in countries where you can get trains from now in Transport Fever 2. When you go onto the Steam Workshop, there's even ones from India, like Taiwan, stuff like that. There's a lot more Asian sort of scene trains that are pretty cool. So there's not really any DLC packs they can add to this. And modding only gets you so far. I mean, even I get burnt out on Transport Fever 2. I mean, I really like it. I love the trains going around. If I was more patient and more skilled, I would do high detailing. The problem is, high detailing takes a long time. Now, I watch a lot of other YouTubers and then watch them do Transport Fever 2. I love their high detail and stuff. And then you sometimes get people who do it live in the video or record it during the video. And it's like, oh man, I just watch this person put containers down in a shipping yard for 45 minutes. And for me, that's like kind of boring. I like to add new lines and new trains in every game. They keep things new, so to always have something new on the episode each time. And because there's so much mods on Steam Workshop now, like I've got tons of trains sitting probably in those depots that I'm not going to be able to use because I just don't have the time. The map is too small to add in like a ridiculous amount of lines. Well, the map is not too small. There's too many cities on the map at the moment to sort of cram in heaps more lines and stuff. It would just look a mess of lines, spaghetti junction everywhere. It sort of looks like that now. But yeah, I'd love to get every mod on the go and showcase it. The modders do a great job. Even the ones that are just starting out and then their trains, like the textures are not really complete, but it's their first ever mod. I like to showcase it because they have tried, and with practice they will only get better. I mean, you see a lot of people, it's like someone will say like, this is my first mod, it's in beta, and then they'll even say like, I know the textures are not really complete, blah blah blah, and then you'll have people like, oh, this is terrible, why did you even... But you need people to test it, and I am happy to do that. And well done for them for trying. Keep trying, keep going. Eventually that mod will look stunning. Obviously there's the veteran modders, who most people who play Transport Fever 2 know. I've got a lot of their stuff on here, even the buildings and stuff. So yeah, the mods are great. This gives the game lots more replayability because standard Transport Fever 2 is boring. In a nutshell, using the standard vehicles, the vanilla vehicles, is boring. Now thankfully they added the ability to pause time but still play the game feature to Transport Fever 2, because before, without that, it was terrible. You would start off with money, you would build a line. By the time that line had made money 10 years down the road, new trains had come out and you'd be like, oh, I can afford one of that new trains, and then another train comes out and you don't have enough money to buy stuff. So playing with, a lot of people play with unlimited money, and then you get people commenting, it's like, you're cheating. It's like, but you can't play the game without having tons of money. You couldn't have someone saying, right, we are going to recreate Germany's railways from 1850 with 10 million quid. Because there's probably a lot of railways that you need to build to make it look authentic. If you're playing for authenticity, then just play with money off. Build the lines how they are meant to be built. In fact, if you just want to play with a lot of trains and a lot of vehicles, build the lines how you want. Use which vehicles what you want. Don't be worried that people are saying, well, you're cheating because you're not using money. I mean, that's not really that bad. If at some point you want to see if your lines do actually make money, you just switch unlimited money off, you fast forward the game for 3 or 4 years, and eventually the tables settle out, and then it will show you which lines are making money and which ones are not. If you're just doing things high detail and putting lines on for show, try to recreate real life lines, don't be worried about money, just do them the way you want them. whether they make money or no. There's a lot of trains that you could have running back and forth to make it look more realistic, and it would probably never make money, but it still looks a hell of a lot better. So yeah, there's all this weird thing. So yeah, even I get bored of Transport Fever, but the mods make it a million times better. Obviously I don't think there's going to be any DLC for this. I was super upset when they changed the cities down to 2 products only, and then I got ambitious and added it back to 6 products and new industries. I love the new industries, or the added industries, and they're not new, they're actually in the base game. Things like silver, alcohol, all that is in the campaign mode. What I would have liked is an option to say, hey, do you want these industries to be available in your free play game instead of just the standard 6? But I can see now why they limited it, because it is, even getting 2 goods to a city is super difficult. Now I've always said that this is a transport network building game, not a city building game. So I don't really care for the emissions mechanic of the game. Don't really care about that at all. But one thing I've really sort of wanted is like a zoning tool, because I don't think you can ever get every good to every single town or building or house in a city. Right, super laggy here as we're coming into London. That was to be expected, because the AI sort of builds it'll build a lot of places in like commercial buildings in a commercial area, but then there'll be like 10, 20, 30 buildings that are just sort of scattered around the city that are sort of off on their own, and then you can't send like one truck out, or you can, but that truck just sits at the depot and doesn't get anything. But we have arrived in London. Ooh, we've got some new stuff. Right, it's August 29th, 2002. Hey, intercity buses, double-decker buses, and various other. The condition of Aircraft 6 is pretty horrible. Okay, Aircraft 6. Whoa. Where's your maintenance? Oh, you didn't have any maintenance. That could have been a disaster. Okay, right. Time to jump on board with another train. Who are you? UK Mainline. Well, that is excellent, because we're jumping on you next. Right, but we'll wait though. We'll come back when that train is in the station. Okay, so our train is in. It's a GNER. It is ready to go. It almost fits in the station. I've not jumped on the GNER. The first one I launched of these... Wait. Whoa. Wait. Just had an idea. We could have a seat view. Could I have a seat view? Right, I can assure you that these lights and these trains are not as bright as that. Unless you're going through a tunnel. They're more like a yellowy tint. And then I push X. No, push C to go down. Or Z to go down. What makes you go down again? Who knows? Well, this is cool. Yeah, this is definitely first class. This guy is floating in midair. Ah, there's the down. So what did I push there? A, Q, W, W. Passenger view? How does passenger view actually look? We are at the back of the train. Right, the game is unpaused. I think. We're not moving. Oh, we're still loading passengers. Oh no, I don't want someone to sit in my seat. You're okay there, lady. Right, floating man has disappeared. That's good. Oh no! Creepy lady with no arms has appeared. Go away, creepy lady. I just want to enjoy my window view. Oh, look at her hands. Oh, it's the COD zombies. Ah. Oh well. Off to the front of the train we go. There we go. There's another train rolling in. Yeah, so back to our previous discussion. Don't think there'll be any DLC for Transport Fever 2. I would love... Now, the other day I was actually trying to remember how many optimization patches there was for Transport Fever 1. I think we've had one significant patch. I was kind of hoping when the game reached like a sort of year old that another one would pop out. Now, obviously we have the good old coronavirus on the go at the moment, and it is like destroying things like game development and whatnot, but I think it's time. I think it's time for another optimization patch. Maybe even if it just gives us a few more frames here and there. I'm actually looking forward to testing this out. I mean, when I get the new rig built, I'm going to transfer every single one of these mods and load the save game and see if it makes any difference. Obviously once this is finished, because this will probably take us to the end of the year, probably even the start of next year, and then I think in February the new rig should be able to go. There's something on the track. A bear? Yeah. Suicidal bear. Sorry, bear. Bye, bear. That's why there are no bears left in the UK. They were all hit by trains. Did there used to be bears in the UK? There used to be wolves. And they're thinking about bringing wolves back to sort of call the sort of red deer population. It's apparently out of control. I mean, I pretty much see deer, red deer, every day. Normally lying dead at the side of the road between where my house is and the town I used to stay in. There's a phenomenal amount of them. Now, a lot of the places they have put up like fences, especially near wooded areas, and then there's like a gap in the fence, and then there's a sign, deer crossing. So that gives them an area to sort of cross that should be safe. No one really slows down for it, but that's where most of them get wiped out. And a deer, if it's a fully grown one, will do severe damage to your car if you hit it. Even a badger. I've seen one of my friends literally have the front left-hand portion of his car completely ripped off after hitting a badger. And the thing is, as he said, it wasn't alive when he hit it. It was already dead. But it was in winter, and it had literally frozen, like rigor mortis plus the amount of moisture that had frozen solid onto the side of the road. And when he came round the corner, he couldn't move onto the other side of the road because there was something else coming. So he just had to sort of plough through it, and it ripped the front left sort of splitter and bumper clean. Oh, it took the light with it as well. It was crazy. But hey-ho. When we plough through animals in Transport Fever 2, the animal still lives at the other end, and it doesn't affect the train at all. That would be an interesting mechanic if the trains actually slowed down for animals on the line. But yeah, there's a mod to remove animals, and I think when I do the new series, I'm gonna add that. Gonna add that mod. Right, we've got another autosave again. My bad. Autosave done. But yeah, so Transport Fever. I'm not bored of playing Transport Fever yet. I do have my days. Like on this map particularly, because there's no industries placed, and I sort of place my own industries. I sort of sometimes come on before recording. It's like, oh, where can I place an industry that would make sense so I could get a decent length train, or maybe have it travel a certain distance, or get it to the towns or other industries that need it. And then I sort of like, oh, I get annoyed. So I think next time, because there is going to be another series in the new year when I get my new rig set up. Hopefully it'll be played, rendered and viewed in 4K, which would be interesting. And hopefully we get like another optimization patch in between then, because it's been a long time. But hey ho. So yeah, there will be. I've been keeping the new series under wraps. It's pretty ambitious, the plan I've got. I mean, I've had a few comments. Can you do Italian? Can you do German, American? Can you do something with like Asia, Japan, and China? So it's kind of gonna be interesting if I can get it to work. And I've been working on it. Like it's like sometimes I can't sleep and I get up, go onto the computer, do a bit of work on some of the maps I'm thinking about using. So it's in development, and hopefully at least some of what I want to do will be ready for the start of the next year. But it is going to be ambitious. I mean, I was thinking about doing some like streaming as well. I said I was going to have Flight Simulator on this channel, and I have Flight Simulator that is installed. It's something again I would like to play on the new rig when it comes out. Doesn't look too bad on this one, but there are some, from videos I've watched on YouTube, of people playing it on sort of higher end desktop computers, there are extremely noticeable differences. Plus it takes a very long time to learn each aircraft. So I normally start off small and then work my way up, and then if you try to learn everything, your head just becomes this pickled mess of, oh my god, do I do this for this plane or was that for another plane? So that is something that was coming. Now that's obviously simulation. This is city building and tycoon and sort of not really sim stuff. I did used to play Euro Truck and American Truck Simulator. I still do. I have a lot of fun playing them. They're actually nice, quite relaxing games to play. So I still have them. But what I was thinking was, in the new year, we could have like all the city building and stuff on this. Like games like Mars Horizon, Anno, Transport Fever, Soviet Workers, Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic, games like that. I'd like to play Ancient Cities as well when it comes out. I've no idea when it's going to come out. Hopefully soon. I think it's been in development for like 1 billion years. I think it's almost been in development as long as Star Citizen. But I think it will actually, to Ancient Cities due, be finished before Star Citizen. But yeah, I'd love to play them on this channel and then create like a sim channel where we could have like Euro Truck and American Truck, Flight Simulator, basically proper sim games, and then have them like a different episode per week on that of something, like have Euro Truck on a Monday or American Truck on a Monday, and then Flight Simulator on a Tuesday, maybe Train Simulator on a Wednesday or something like that, or Train Sim World. But yeah, I don't think we're quite ready for a second channel. That might be a bit ambitious. But yeah, I would like to do streaming as well. Streaming would be nice. I mean, I could do like another... You could do games a lot quicker when you're streaming, because you can play for 3-4 hours on that sort of game. Whereas here we're just doing it like hour a piece, or 45 minutes, or 30 minutes. So you get a lot more episodes, but it takes a lot longer to complete it, meaning that other games you would like to put on the channel have to sort of wait. They go into a queue. I've got a few games waiting in a queue that I would love to play on here, but yeah, we just have to see how it goes. I mean, obviously with that, because I got paid off back at the end of September, I thought I would have tons of time, all the time in the world, to play and record videos, like play games that I like to play on my own without recording, record stuff for the channel, add lots more new games. I mean, I honestly thought that by the end of the year I was going to be finished this Transport Fever series and have the next one ready to go at the start of January. I thought I was going to be finished Anno and have that ready to go, or have something in its place ready to go in January. I thought I'd be well on my way through Workers, Soviet Republic, Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. But ever since I've been off, I've just been constantly, because people know that I'm at home. I mean, not many of none of my friends, only like a handful of my closest friends know about this YouTube channel. Now there's a reason for that. My girlfriend knows about it. My little brother knows about it. He's sort of like my backup. Like if something were to happen to me, he could like email YouTube and say, like just say I died unexpectedly, which is a bit grim, but like he knows about it, and he has there's a thing in place so that the channel's not just nothing happening with no explanation. And my girlfriend knows about it, and a handful of my friends know about it. Now they're not subscribed to the channel. I think my little brother is. I've basically got him as like an admin, and he checks stuff out for me as well. And yeah, none of my friends really know about this. A handful of them do. None of them are subscribed, because I've always said that the subscribers that I get, I would like to be true subscribers, people that are actually subscribing because they like and want to watch the content, not just doing it because like they're your friends, etc. And they don't watch the comment, and they don't watch the content, but they subscribe just because they're your friends. So I've tried to evade that side of it, and then almost every single subscriber is people that would just like to subscribe because they like the channel and content. So I mean, if I turned around and told all my friends, hey, and then told them to subscribe to the channel even though they didn't watch it, I'd be well above like 1,000 subscribers just now. I mean, I know a lot of people in the town that I'm from. I've worked all over the world. I have a lot of people that still stay in contact from other countries. It's nice to hear from them now and again. But then that's defeating the sort of purpose of the work that you're doing. That's taking the sort of easy way. And I prefer to do things the hard way for some reason. But yeah, so I'd like to keep that sort of trend going. But yeah, ever since I've been off work, I've been busier than ever. People know that you're off, and like, because obviously my friends don't know that I have this channel, and it's like you're recording something and somebody phones you up, hey, can you give me a hand with this? And it's like, oh no. I mean, the amount I've basically become a taxi as well. Every day someone calls me, hey, can you drive me here, blah blah blah, and it's like, what? And especially my girlfriend, she's just recently, we've gutted out like 3 rooms in the house and had to redo them. I actually the office that I've sort of got in here is it's a spare bedroom, and there was an old sofa bed that was like really old. I mean, my God, when the sofa bed came in, it came in like a oneer. Came in one go, and it literally came through the window, because when we first got this house we got new windows in, and because the window in this office was out, they slotted the sofa in through the window, because there was no window in it at the time. It worked out perfectly. The guys were coming to put in the new windows. I said, hey, I'm getting a sofa bed delivered. It's probably not going to fit through the house. Or we had it measured, and it would have meant moving or removing all the door frames from the front door through to the room that this was going in. I was like, oh God, that's a nightmare. But because the guys were doing the windows, and the window came out, and I said, hey, if I get the sofa delivered, put it in the garage, when you come to do the window in that spare bedroom, when it comes out, could I put this sofa through it? And they were like, hey, that's no problem. And they even helped, because the thing was heavy as crap, and it took like three of us to lift it up and into the window, then 2 guys inside and 2 guys outside to sort of feed it through. What a pain in the arse it was, but yeah, that was a lot easier. So when she said, well, you should do up your office, because we were getting the new TV. I've also got another new TV for playing the PS5 once I get it. It's hooked up to the old PS4 at the moment, and now I've got the C10 OLED plus my old Asus monitor is hooked up as well, so I've got like a dual monitor. I play games on one, do the rendering, and all the other content gets pushed over to the other screen, and then generally just clean the place as well. There wasn't very much room to get the hoover in and actually hoover stuff, so once the sofa, man, we lifted the sofa. And I was like, me, my stepfather, my little brother, one of my friends came around to help because the thing was so heavy. We came to lift it, and it was like cobweb central. And there were tons of these little spiders. Now it's weird, because I spend quite a lot of time of the day in here, and I've never seen a spider on the roof, on the wall, on the floor. Never ever seen them. And then we noticed that there's an old school, where old school TV aerial socket popped out of the floor. So it goes up through the foundations of the house, pops out through the floor, goes along the wall, round the corner and into the old TV. And there was a gap there that you could see, and you could physically feel air drafting out of it. And then it was like, well, there's your problem. The spiders are not coming out into the room. They're basically going back down, because it was those little white spiders, like the ones you see in lofts and like under the foundations of your house, and they like the dark. So in a well-lit room, they don't like to venture out into the light, and it was super dark under the sofa, and then they had that little hole there to get down back into under the foundations of the house. So that's why I'd never seen them before, but they got hoovered up instantly. Carpet got washed. That's why it was a few days without transport fever, because I was redoing this office, and it was just so lucky that I had episodes of Mars Horizon sort of pre-recorded, so they were able to go up at 12 o'clock. But yeah, doing stuff like that, gutting out rooms. There's actually new windows going in again, pain in the arse. So we had the guys round measuring all the windows again, because the company we used before didn't exist anymore. And yeah, things have just been a complete nightmare. My sister also has dogs, and she's a nurse, so she works a lot during the day. My brother-in-law is a truck driver, long distance truck driver, so he's gone for days, weeks at a time. And then she was like, hey, you can walk the dog. And it's like, oh my God. I actually like dogs. I used to have dogs. My girlfriend is more of a cat person. She's actually scared of dogs. She got attacked by a dog when she was younger. So when I sort of said, hey, we should get a dog, it was like a no. So Unfortunately, the dog that attacked her was a golden retriever, and it was her cousin's dog. And then they don't know what happened. It was just like completely out of the blue. The dog got up and attacked her. Like her mother was there. She always tells me the story because I always think it's made up, just so that we can't get a dog. But yeah, it was Buster was the name of the dog. It was completely out of the blue, and even like her auntie and uncle and her cousin, it was their dog. They didn't know why. It was totally out of character. I mean, she was just playing with her cousin on her own. They think the dog was maybe protecting the cousin or something like that, but the dog ended up having to get put down. It was completely out of the blue. They didn't know why it happened. I think it was like a bad experience for all, and now she's like terrified of dogs, which is a nightmare. She likes cats, and I'm super allergic to cats. I had a cat when I was younger. I was always kept well away from the cat. So the cat was one of those things, like my mother had the cat. I was born, they found out I was allergic. But, the cat was there first, so the cat got to stay. But it was just kept away from me, so now I can't have any pets. Can't have a dog, can't have a cat, but my sister has dogs, and now she's got me on dog walk duty. And they're big dogs as well, so they need long walks, so it takes a couple of hours. So I've been super busy, even though this is the time when I'm supposed to be chilling out and relaxing. I always said that I would go back to work abroad and offshore once everything sort of returned to normal. I always thought this coronavirus will blow over, everything will return back to normal, but the amount of people that are losing their jobs and livelihoods, store owners, etc., like cinema chains are closing, hotel chains are closing, it really is unreal. And then one of my friends who works for an oil company, a quite large, well-known oil company, he has been saying to me, he's like, listen bro, when January comes, there's not going to be like an influx of new jobs, or oil rigs and whatnot are not going to be just sort of ramping up production again. It's like it's still going to be slow. Still, even into next year, lots of people are going to be losing their jobs. I mean, oil companies have now realised that during coronavirus they had skeleton crews running their rigs and fuel oil refineries and whatnot, and then they've come to realise that, hey, we can actually run this safely with a minimum amount of people. So instead of bringing everyone back, they've just sort of went, well, whoever's still working gets to stay, everyone else that's in furlough and whatnot are just getting sort of laid off. So that's kind of a disaster. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, I can't go YouTube full time or streaming or anything like that, because this is just a hobby. I don't make any money out of it. I just like doing it because I like gaming. I like other people who like the same stuff as me. I like conversing with the comments and getting to interact with people from all over the world. Because even when my old job, I used to work all over the world, and you get to meet some great people. You get to meet some crazy people. There will be people out there that you are not going to get along with or see eye to eye with. I was once working out in Iraq, and one of the bosses that was out there was this American guy, and me and him just did not see eye to eye as well. Everyone that worked underneath him were great. They were great guys. But this one guy was just a nightmare. And whenever you try to tell him something like that, well, unfortunately this plan is not going to work, and then you would explain why it's not going to work, and then his reaction would be, well, you need to make it work, and then you need to make it with less people than you should have, you get less time than you should have, and it not only pisses everyone off, but it makes the job harder. People start arguing and fighting a lot more. It puts safety concerns way up on the list, because You are now working like 10 times as hard, you're getting less sleep, you don't have as much people as you thought you were going to do. There's that time and pressure constraint that they always say doesn't exist in the oil and gas industry. There are some places that are like that. It's like, well, it's going to take as long as it's going to take. And then there are other places that are like, oh no, just take as much time as you need, but as soon as you leave the room, it's like, you need to do this now. This needs to get done. And then they're always coming back and checking, hey, is this done? Is this done? Is this done? We're waiting on you. Is this done? And then you get that time pressure when people start making mistakes, people get hurt, accidents happen, things start to screw up, job failures, hopefully not catastrophic failures, but yeah, it sort of sucks. So yeah, having the time, or the free time I thought I was going to have, has not really happened. I'm super busy. Right, so we are at Aberdeen though, and that actually took a long time. I mean, there were a few trains, I think. What year is it? Hey, it's 2005. And with, RAC. More Freightliner stuff. This one's different. Shanks, East London Express. Unbranded Virgin trains. Ooh. Wait. How many? Yeah, it was 3 years. Okay. Right, so we are in September of 2005. I was going to jump on that Swansea or that Welsh train. We can do that in the next one. But yeah, in the next episode, we will be... I'm going to head down the ocean for this. Yeah, we will be adding... Or I am going to be removing every single passenger train. So at the start of the next episode, there will be no passenger trains. Tonight I'm going to do a bit of research and see where train operators, what sort of regions they ran their trains on, what sort of lines they ran their train on. And we're going to be adding trains, really, to where they're supposed to be going. Which I should have done before, but didn't. Now there is a road vehicle depot here, so let's start with the roads. By vehicles. Now, we know there was a crap ton of buses. Yeah, we've got coach buses, intercity buses, Fernbus, Leo Express, K&K, Croatia bus, Flixbus. Oh, these are all like German. Arriva. Intercity bus 2 unbranded, right? You're going to be super popular, I think, because I like to use them. We've still got all of these. We've now got 3 variants of this: the Keighley and District. See, I don't know where Keighley and District is. I would have to look that up to find out where this is supposed to run. West Midlands travel. Well, West Midlands is the West Midlands, so... Arriva County, First Barbie, Dublin bus, that's handy. East Yorkshire, low floor. East Yorkshire Motor Services, the Magic bus. Is the Magic bus like... What's it called? What's the really cheap bus, like you pay £1 and you can drive from, get on it, it goes from Aberdeen to London. And they've also got it in America, which is interesting. What's it called? Megabus. Is it Megabus? Is Megabus... I think it is Megabus. Is the Magic bus like a Megabus? Right, these we know. This I know. These liveried ones. I think there's some other double-decker somewhere. There we go. Enviro, Victus, Unilink, Coastliner, Blue Star, Victus. Now, we've obviously seen these in the UK. There's actually some where I live. The Volvo, Bernmobile, and the Moonliner. Gas driven. These are Bern. He advertised the offer at night. So this one runs during the day and this one runs during the night. Is that something? Mercedes Sprinters, Post Bus, Post Auto. That seems French. Mercedes Sprinter. ZVB. These are like Croatian, are they not? These are like standard Sprinters. Let's check the cargo. We've got some new vans, so this is all the same. These man buses will only be alive till the next drive-by. These should all be alive till the end. We've got the MAN F2000 tipper, 8x4. What's the difference? Oh, it's been removed from here and added down there. Well, that's interesting. Hey, 4 transits. Balfour Beatty, yep, see them all the time. DHL, yep, FedEx, Network Rail, Royal Mail, TNT, Connect UPS, Standard Transporter, OpenReach, see them all the time. AA, yeah, Enterprise, is that like Enterprise Rent-A-Car? Who knows? RAC, yep, Sky, see them all the time. TNT, UPS, Virgin Media. Okay. So that is road vehicles. We've got a new vans and stuff, which we are going to use. Buy vehicles. Right, let's check trains. We normally check ships and stuff first. I still have not removed this from the workshop. These are all the same, right? The handle. Okay, these are all the same. 8 variants. NR. Network Rail. 24 variants of this. Virgin Trains, unbranded. Anglia, GNER. Virgin Trains, unbranded. Intercity Swallow. These are all... Okay, these are all the Catenaried one, and then the drive and brake vans should possibly be someone else. And that's it. Not much new electric stuff. Diesel, right? There's always new diesels. Ridiculous ton of Freightliners there. 4th Raider. So that must run. Does it tell you? No description. But East London. Yeah, so there's a lot of the Class 66 in the Freightliner livery. So there's 6 of these. 6 of these. 76 variants of this now. Okay, the Lafarge, Cement, Yellow and Blue. The Chorus. Right, so these 4 are new. Because there used to only be 72. Peaks, yeah, peaks are all the same. Class 37. Anything new will be at the bottom. Right, so the DRS Compass and the West Coast. And this as well. Neil Webster HNRC. Is there a description for this? No, it's just a generic description for all. Okay. 32 variants of that. Police with Freightliner logos. Police Virgin Farewell. What? Where did these come? Virgin Farewell? 1. Okay. BR Green, Virgin Farewell. And then lots of First Great Western. The Sapper. I still don't know what that is. Power cars for this. Hornby. Hull trains. We could probably use. Class 56. Class 58. No, nothing new for the Class 58. It's all the same there. Which is fine. 19 variant. I think they're still the same. And these are still the same? No. The EWS Royal Diamond and the Arriva version are new. The rest of them are still the same. Okay, passengers. Now, passenger wagons is a mess and I hate going in here. I think there's more of these. There's no Grand Central train yet. But the wagons are there. Right, we've got some driving brake vans for Virgin and Virgin ScotRail. Right, we've got the Eins wagon. Maybe just check these. Yeah, so I didn't see anything for... Okay, what's one? What is one? DB Cargo. Are you Arriva Trains Wales? Because this sort of livery almost looks the same as that. Caledonian Sleeper. That's a thing. But let's move on from there swiftly. Anything new in freight? All looks roughly the same. Scrap Hopper. I've not done anything with scrap yet, and there are 4 versions of this now: EWS and Network Rail, Rail Track. These are still the same 4 variants. Right, electrical multiple units. 17 versions of this. Now I would imagine these are all still the same. I think that Serco Northern from the West Yorkshire is new. There's still 4 variants of that. Network Southeast, Southwest Trains. Right, the Mirage, the TGV and the Commuter. The Renfe 450 train we're not really interested in. The ICE. Right, so 14 variants of this now. I think these Panto down. First Northwestern debranded. 50 variants of the 321. These are German, right? DB. But the 4-car Gatwick Express. Start from the start. Southern Trans Perth. Perth. I mean, there is a Perth in Scotland, but I don't think it has its own transport sort of thing. 4-car Great Western, mixed London Northwestern and London Midlands, 4-car NHS, Thameslink, the Ryzen, TfL Rail, Thameslink old logo, Transperth 4-car windows, more NHS stuff, Thameslink, Arriva, Silverlink, First Great Eastern, and one. Right, hold on. I'm going to come out of this, right? Because that was weird. And the screen sort of went into like a sleep mode there. There's now 5 variants of this. The Class 373 and Great North Eastern Railways. Okay. These 3 are all the same, right? Yes. These 10 are still all the same? Yes. London Northwestern Railways, Silverlink, Southwestern Trains, 2 variants, Ryzen 5th Gen, the Class 390, there's 94 variants of this, Transpennine, ScotRail, Caledonian Sleeper, ScotRail again, Grand Central, Greater Anglia, Avanti Safe, Caledonian Sleeper, Virgin Trains, Discord Nitro, EMR, East Coast. Whoa. So there's a lot of Class 390s. RIP Save Game, 5th Gen livery, ScotRail. Holy crap. Okay, so there's a lot of this. East Coast, Grand Central, first Grand Central train. But there should be there should be a Class 125 in Grand Central. 390 Old Caledonian Sleeper. 390 with 5th Gen Ryzen. Okay. See, it becomes super complicated. after a while. Still 22 variants of this. I don't think this has changed. Still 13 and 20 of that. There's now 8 variants of this, but I think it's 4 intercity and 4 virgin, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. These are all still the same. Yeah, we'll check them. 23 variants of this. Yeah, they're all the same. Dynamic lanes. Now I'm looking for that, but in the purple. National Express 1. Regional Railways. Revised Northern Rail. Trans-Pennine. Northern Rail. Trans-Pennine. The Trans-Pennine stuff is new. Central Trains. Arriva Trains Wales. Arriva Trains Wales Blue. What is going on? There's so much stuff. Turbo Star. Now what I'm looking for is... there's a lot of Turbo Stars. A Class 180. Yeah, see, dynamic trains with the purple. Now there should be Chilton, electric, GNER, white logo. Yeah, I want this dynamic lines, but there should be a Class 43, right? Where are the Class 43s? There should be a purple First Great Western dynamic lines version of that. It's not there yet. Oh well. Right, we'll quickly check out ships. So, cargo. The Merlin is new. No, it's not. Too old. Passengers. I think there's like the Sea Cat. It's not there yet. I think it should be. A couple of yachts and stuff. Okay, right, and then I need to check out planes. I don't think there's a hangar at any of these 2 airports, or we're about to find out. No, no hangar there. Maybe at the freight airport. No hangar there either. There is a hangar at France. Buy vehicles, right. Passenger to start with. Go to there so I can see the plane. 757, 777, the Hawaiian, this we've all seen. This is all McDonnell, Douglas, Centurion, Western. These are all American. Airbus, France. A320s we've seen. The A320 pack we've seen. Airbus 320 and British Airways livery. The DC-10s we've looked at. Right, hold on. This is new. The Embraer 170. No, I think this is old. Mountain Star Intercountry. These are American. Northern Air. Yep. Boeing 737. What's that? The Boeing 737 pack. I think we've seen. The Bombardier. Yeah, I think we've looked at these. There are probably a couple of these we could use. EasyJet and TUI, probably. Right, go to cargo. I think all these cargoes are the same. DC-10s, FedEx and Arrow, Lufthansa, yeah. They are all pretty much the same. But we shall leave it there for that episode. And then we'll fire some of our new trains on, which will be nice. But yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. Let's jump on board with you. It's a Virgin train. It looks nice. But yeah, we'll leave it there for that episode. As always, if you did watch this and you would like to leave a like, comment or dislike, please feel free to do so. And if there's more you'd like to see in the future, then hit that subscribe button. I've been Danny Boy, and this has been Transport Fever 2 on the UK map, and I will catch you later.